Hey guys, hope you're all staying safe and doing well out there. In today's video, we're looking at my sort of new guitar and sort of new amp that I've assembled to use as my home practice rig. So obviously I've got all my amps and other equipment down here in the studio space. I wanted something to leave at the house to jam on and just play that I can grab quickly. Just a real simple rig that can do a lot of different sounds. So I've assembled a guitar and an amp, which I'm about to show you. Now they're quite unusual and different to what you might have seen before. They're a real DIY home project, but we're gonna start with the amp, I think, because that's probably the most interesting one. So this is the amp. Now you're probably thinking, well, that looks like a bedside table, and that's because it is a bedside table. This is a piece of like MDF build yourself furniture that I bought from K-Mart, which is just a department store here in Australia. And basically what I've done is I assembled the bedside table, and then inside I've kind of installed an amp and a speaker. I thought kind of looks like a grill cloth on the front, and it's kind of the same dimensions as a small combo amp. So let's have a look inside, see how it's working. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna shuffle around a bit. We can actually open this door, which reveals what's inside. So I'm gonna swap hands on the camera real quick. So you can see we've got a frame, which attached to that frame is a Laney HH 12-inch speaker. 80 watts at 16 ohms. It's a really great sounding speaker. Very chewy mids, very nice high ends, not a lot of bass, which I like. And that is hooked up to this little Ho-Tone amp. Let me see if I can move the light to get that better. So we've got a little Ho-Tone amp in there. This Ho-Tone amp is the Ho-Tone Seva Boogie, which is a 5-watt solid state clean amplifier. It's very small and the controls are actually on the other side. So that's going into our Laney speaker. You can also see there's some power here for what you'll see on the back is some pedals. So let's have a look at the back now. So we can open and close that as we please. If you open it too far, it gets a little top heavy, and this tends to rock like that, but it works well. You'd think there'd be cab rattle and stuff like that. Not really, because it doesn't really get loud enough and there's not really enough bass. It's also a pretty solid piece of furniture as well. Surprisingly solid. So you can see, well, you can't really see, but the speaker is in there. So the idea was to have a piece of furniture that blended in really nice and seamlessly with the house. I had a look at some of those practice amps and little solid state digital things like the Yamahas and the Black Stars, but they still look like pieces of guitar equipment, whereas this looks like a normal piece of furniture until you open it up. So it blends in really well with the house. On the back, we've got the 9-volt battery going in to the cab and then back out into two outputs. One is a K-Line Orange Burst overdrive, which is being repainted obviously. The other one is a multi-effects pedal, which is flashing to the tempo of something, I believe. That is then going into our controls of the Ho-Tone Seva Boogie. So you can see it's got simple controls, no reverb, but that's what it looks like on the back. So it looks a little bit messy, but it will be hidden behind a corner somewhere, so it will still look like a normal piece of furniture to everyone who's coming to visit or whatever the heck. So it is quite a unique looking amplifier. It's not something you would expect to be an amplifier, which is what I like about it. As I said, I just want it to blend in with the rest of the furniture in the house, and this does that really well because it doesn't look anything like guitar equipment or an amp or whatever. It just looks like a bedside table. Right, so here is the guitar. Just a normal looking Strat headstock on a really beautiful maple neck. It's actually a left-handed neck that I bought to fit this body. But as we go down, you're gonna see it's not actually that normal of a Strat. We get to the body and we've got a bit of a mishmash of different pickups and options. So I'm just gonna adjust here's what we've got. We've got a Alnico 5 neck Strat pickup. We've got a Vanson HB90 P90 in a humbucker casing. Then an Alnico 5 middle pickup, Strat pickup. And then a Kent Armstrong Power Blades humbucker pickup in a single coil format. These combine to create a very large variety of sounds. We've got all the switches here. Each pickup has an on and off switch with a little diagram to tell me how they turn on and off, as well as just a volume pot. So no tone controls here. Doesn't really need a tone control. It's got everything it needs within the pickups itself. So I've found out this can actually do Strat sounds, Tele sounds, basically any Fender sound under the sun, as well as the traditional high gain humbucker in the bridge. You'll also notice the jack plate is backwards because that's the only way it would fit there, but I think it looks a bit unique. So this is just a Squire Strat body, an SE Strat body to be specific, with a really, really nice high quality maple neck. Left-handed, but the nut's being flipped over, it does the job. And then some crazy controls. So let's get a sweep shot of this. There you go, with my amp in the background, that's my home practice rig. So let's see how it sounds. Okay, so here we are with everything set up, ready to record. I'm actually really interested to hear how this thing sounds on a recorded track. I actually haven't heard that before. I've only heard it just in the room, I guess. Same with this guitar, actually. Haven't heard how this one records either. So exciting for a myriad of reasons. Is myriad the right word? I don't know. Well, let's get started by going through the different pickups individually we've got on this guitar. So we're going to start with our neck single coil. So this is just the neck single coil on. It's worth noting there's no reverb in this amp or in the multi-effects. There's a delay, but there's no reverb. So it does sound a little bit dry. You can set the delay to do a reverb sort of thing, but I've got it set up for a chorus for the demonstration purpose of this video. Anyway, next pickup, which is our P90 in the sort of neck position. So sounding like that Strat single coil, but quite a lot fatter, which I really like. Then we've got our kind of bridge single coil, which is great because it's kind of in between the middle pickup and the bridge pickup on a Strat. It's also angled, so it's quite a unique tone, which I like. Then we get to the humbucker, which is the last one. The switch is actually a different direction. That's the only way it would fit underneath the cavity, but that's all right. So flick that on. It's quite a bright and less full sounding humbucker, but still sounds like a humbucker. So let's stick to the clean sound before we turn on some distortion and effects. Let's go through some of my favorite pickup combinations I've found on this guitar. Starting with the neck pickup and P90 together creates that classic Strat in between sound. If we turn the neck pickup on and the middle single coil, it's a different flavor of that Strat in between. It's worth noting that the bridge has been hardtailed as well, so there is a big chunk of wood in the back keeping it hardtailed. Oh, and the body is also relic, which you might have seen in the video. That's because this body was actually from my very first electric guitar, my very first Squire. And when I was probably like 13, I thought it would look cool relict. It doesn't, but I think it looks a lot better now with the maple neck and just some different appointments. Anyway, if we turn on both of the Strat single coils, we get a very telly-ish in-between sound. So that's cool. You've got all your really nice Fender single coil sounds. Even with the P90, you can kind of get a warm jazz mastery neck pickup sort of thing. But yeah, that's really cool. The other one I like is the bridge humbucker and the neck single coil together. That's kind of another sort of telly flavor. Kind of fattens up that humbucker in a really nice way. If we're going to try some other combos, maybe the humbucker and the P90. Or the single coil and humbucker. It's very stratty. All three single coils. And if we turn them all on, which I know you're all waiting for. So let's go to the neck pickup and we'll try putting some dirt on. So we've got our K-Line Orange Burst overdrive pedal, which is now on. Go to the P90. Go to that bridge single coil. And finally the humbucker. If we go for one of those in-between Strat sounds. So, a lot of great sounds. It's a lot of fun. If we turn the chorus on, let's just see what that does. Let's turn the other Stratty in between sound on. So, sounds really killer. I bet you it's going to sound great on the clean channel. So a lot of fun sounds. I hope it records okay, because as I said, I haven't tried it before. I'll probably put some caption or something if I really liked it. But there we go. That's my home practice rig. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspires you to do something similar. I think this is a really, really cool looking piece of kit. I know you probably can't see it very well on the camera now, but it really just looks like a bedside table from the front on. You wouldn't know it's a guitar amp at all. So it's probably going to sit in probably the family room, the living space, something like that, with this guitar next to it on a stand. Obviously that's not very furniture-y, but I think it's a very attractive guitar, so I think it'll do the job. To preemptively answer some of the questions you may have, no, there's no extra reinforcements in the door here. It's just as it comes, and there's no cabinet rattle, which is really good. It did get pretty loud. You definitely couldn't gig with it, but you would definitely annoy other members of your household if you had this turned all the way up. The back panels are all glued to reinforce that a little bit. No, I don't know if they're parallel or series on these pickups. Maybe one of you guys can tell me based on how it sounds. They're just wired to an on and off switch, which then goes to the volume and then the output, I think. I can't quite remember, to be honest. Yes, this pickguard is custom made. I bought a blank scratch plate and then just carved out or sawed out the different holes and, you know, planned that out on the guitar and all that sort of fun stuff. And overall, the amp probably cost me just under $100. The Hotone amp was $75. It was on sale. The cabinet was probably the rest of that budget, and then it was just a bit of work. The neck on this guitar was about $100, but it really is a fantastic neck. It should be worth a lot more. Body is just, it's a Squier SE body, so the cheapest Squier you can get, but I don't really care about that because all the pickups and the neck sound really good. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or if you'd like to see more of this rig, also leave that in the comments below. I must say I've been picking this guitar up way more than I should be. The neck is such a unique feeling neck to what I'm used to. It's quite narrow this way and quite fat this way, which I'm really enjoying playing on. It's yeah, I'm picking this guitar up a lot more than I should be, to be honest, considering some of the other guitars I've got. And this is sounding really good, and it's just so easy to turn on, plug in and go. Yeah, I'm really loving it. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy it. Really appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next video.